Hello there, welcome to an INFJ ramble. So today I was going to touch on a couple of things. I've made videos in the past about feeling your emotions, so let's talk about resentment. What is the purpose of resentment? I kind of thought about it. So basically, whenever you feel resentment, it's because you feel like somebody has done something wrong to you. It's basically a gauge or a reference point to let you know where your boundaries lie and where you are allowing others to impede or if you're allowing yourself to overextend. So I know resentment doesn't feel good. There's a lot of anger and hostility underlying that feeling. But if you listen to resentment, it's almost like I don't know if it's your ego's way of going into self preservation mode because it's um, realizing how the choices in the past are affecting um, itself in the present moment. You know what I mean? So, for instance, if you're a giver and you're accustomed to giving to people all your life and participating in one sided relationships that are draining and possibly parasitic, um, you'll feel a feeling of resentment because you've passed over a boundary that should have been implemented. Does that make sense? Yeah, so it doesn't feel good. I think people feel guilty for feeling resentment, but like I said in my other videos, each emotion has a vital part in your experience, and they're basically messengers to let you know what's going on. So if you're feeling resentment, it's good to notice it. Not necessarily the best thing to hold on to it, because if you hold on to that emotion, any type of emotion that is negatively charged, it will create a lot of toxicity and blockages in your physical system. So the best way to really recognize these things is to be aware, be mindful, acknowledge that you're feeling these feelings. Don't guilt trip yourself. And just kind of take a look at why this emotion is coming up to the surface for you to observe. You know what I mean? So I was thinking about it. Like for most of my life, I've been a giver. And for a great part of my life, I have felt resentment. And then I ended up doing the infamous door slam. And I look back on my life now and I realize why it was necessary. It was because I was overextending myself. I had little to no boundaries in place. And I was just kind of like exposing myself to everything instead of realizing that I need to, you know, create healthy boundaries in most situations and most interactions. And I get to decide what I allow and what I don't allow into my life. You know what I mean? And the resentment is a good gauge to show you, like I said, where you've overextended yourself. And it also kind of gives you the fuel that you need to kind of like implement boundaries. You know what I mean? So, like, to stop giving to one sided relationships, to stop participating in toxic, parasitic relationships. These feelings come up to create this barrier in order for you to self preserve and protect yourself and to really give you the time to analyze what's going on. You know what I mean? If you didn't feel these feelings, then you wouldn't really know, where the boundary starts or ends. So, yeah, like I said, any type of emotion, especially in the negatively charged ones, they're not necessarily bad. I think we perceive it as bad because of the way it makes you feel, but it creates a feeling of discomfort so that, it gets your attention. You know what I mean? Because if it felt good, you wouldn't really be looking for a remedy, or you wouldn't be looking for, um, you know, a way to, I don't know, stop participating in something that is not good for you. You know what I mean? If it felt good. That's why things don't feel good. It's basically like knocking at your door and telling you to pay attention. There's something that you've been participating in that is not in your best interest, and you need to be more mindful of your choices and be more mindful of what you participate in, what you allow, what you don't allow, and so forth. All right, that was my little rant. Well, it wasn't really a rant, it was just a ramble. My little ramble on resentment. If you learned something cool, if you didn't learn anything, that's cool too. Blessings to one and all. Amen.